Okay, we are back while we get the next speaker, and that's Lauren Wright. Lauren, game starts now.
Awesome. How many of you guys like sleep? And yes, me too. Imagine it interrupted by a screaming baby. And the reason is because a bottle has not evolved with mammalian evolution, and they won't take it to feed. And quite honestly, this was happening all last night in the room next door to me. So
get the microphone up a little bit. Yeah.
Trying to start the slides. Thank you so much. Let's go back to start. Yeah, so as the biotech breastfeeding experience for effortless health and bonding, the Natural Nipple was designed for seamless, stress-free breast and bottle feeding with the only infant feeding system designed to match mom's shape, feel, and milk flow. And so just imagine being able to enhance development from the day a baby is born with nature's first free, accessible life vaccine. That's breast milk. And so while I'm not a mom myself, my name is Lauren, I'm a nurse practitioner, and it was in my research I became determined to help parents reach the World Health Organization's goal of breastfeeding for at least 6 months. So when I discovered in my research this gap in industry, I invented the Natural Nipple to address the #1 barrier to breastfeeding. This is actually critical for our B2B market, where we learned that on average, a typical NICU loses 50 million per year based on how fast milk is flowing out of standard bottles. The National Science Foundation saw this as an unsolved problem and awarded me over $300,000 to address this issue, because we know by providing babies breast milk for even just 6 months, we can save the lives of 1 million children every year under the age of 5, cut $300 billion in preventable medical costs every single year in the US alone, as well as hit the triple bottom line by improving the health of the planet and providing early access to care. The baby care and femtech industry is growing to a combined $157 billion total market opportunity by 2026. And our SAM, not TAM, is actually expected to reach $68 billion in 5 years. We're fully prepared to address the market's challenges that we learned in our customer discovery and help the 125 million babies that need breast milk right now. And that is with our physical, digital, and data solution designed to address those pain points. So the Natural Nipple is novel because it provides 4 shapes that are actually reflective of the maternal population. So you can think of Warby Parker's face shape survey. We have a similar latch match technology to pair a mother with her shape. And then we actually match maternal milk flow by having studied maternal lactation averages over the first year of breastfeeding for the very first time. In addition to the physical solution, we're designing an app with lactation support built in to help parents do direct breast versus bottle feeding. And additionally, add our immunobiome testing auxiliary service. And so this is critical for the first 3 years of life to actually establish the signature gut microbiome that influences the way you eat, think, and function moving forward. I'm really excited about this part because there's no product tech service model like this in the infant care industry. And it actually is going to maximize the lifetime value of our customer as we provide data-driven insights based on each baby's unique biome profile. And so our business model is initially a go-to-market strategy as a subscription model e-commerce solution. And that's actually while our data is being collected at Tampa General's Hospital to demonstrate that we are addressing the infant feeding costs that are not reimbursed right now and save the hospital money with our CPT codes. I'm super excited because we've already kicked that off with Tampa General. So that pilot is going on right now. This is myself, the CEO and founder. I have the clinical and research background backed by extraordinary business mentorship at the Tampa Bay Wave and my advisory board with strategic expertise, particularly Matt Herman, who manages the $88 billion Ascension Ventures Fund, and saw the particular need for this product in the hospitals that he invests in. So to date, we've raised over 650,000, some of that being from Johnson & Johnson, who evaluated our IP over other infant feeding systems and gave us the Nursing Innovation Award and $50,000 investment. In 2018, Florida Blue actually named us the most innovative healthcare solution. And so in next year in Q2, we'll begin our 2 million seed raise, and that will actually enable us to bring on the head of marketing that's grown with the team as an intern, and a VP of sales who is actually the former VP at Medtronic and has brought 2 wearables in the industry to exit. I'm really excited because we were awarded the SBIR Phase 1 award in May, and that closed out our $500,000 pre-seed round. And it's actually enabling us now to finish prototyping the thermoregulatory device for safe and effective transport of biologics. So that will address the data arm of the company in order to do that immune biome testing. And with that, we'll be able to do our B2B launch, as well as integrate the app that will address a smart sensor on the bottle, so we can help the 77% of the market that was just unsure if they were feeding their baby enough. So we have investment and retail interest. Here's just some of our phase 1 clinical collaborations. And to date, actually in Q1 and 2 of this year, parents were paying $55 just to test if the bottle made feeding their baby easier. And I'm very excited because we've seen 100% reduction in latching, frustration, and colic. And one particular user named Brooklyn is an infant sleep trainer and have a 7-month-old baby Rain who latched right on to the natural nipple. And Brooklyn called me in tears because for the first time in 16 months, she had her body back. She had the autonomy to be able to go back to work and rest while giving her partner the freedom to feed pump milk with the natural nipple, and baby Rain the ability to come back to breastfeed without challenges. We keep it super simple. How it works is you take a shape survey, predictive shape survey, and then you're sent a flow rate that's data driven based on your baby's age, with the option for a subscription to support your full first year of breastfeeding. So I'm very excited to be able to produce enough units and launch Q4 of this year direct to consumer, while also improving the health of the next generation. So thank you guys very much. Time is your most valuable resource, and your attention. And I look forward to any questions that you have. Please spread the word as well, thenaturalnipple.com. We have pre-orders live. So thank you for your time.
Judges?
That was lovely. Congratulations on your awards. Just a kind of question about so the bottle, it's really going back and forth between bottle feeding and breastfeeding. Why are you encouraging people to pump and put breast milk in the bottle? I mean, I'm not quite getting where the amount of, like, you're increasing breastfeeding in the sense, that, wouldn't it be easier if it just, why couldn't they put formula, for example, in the bottle? And so I'm just wondering a little bit about, have you seen that?
Excellent question, Paula. And so the reason for starting the company was really to help parents overcome the primary barrier to breastfeeding. And so when I learned that it was standard bottles and that parents were having these challenges getting the baby back to breast after they would become used to the faster flow rate from the bottle, I just wanted to provide a liaison. So I like to call it an infant feeding system. So you could absolutely use and supplement with formula and deliver that with the natural nipple, but our mission is slightly different from competitors in that we want to help parents breastfeed for as long as possible. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, it does. I'm just, like I said, bottle feeding or breastfeeding. I know a lot of women worry about weaning their child, right? And they have to go back to work and so forth. So they kind of want to make sure they can take a bottle. So I completely understand that.
Yeah.
I just know there are also a lot of people that might, either culturally or in certain areas where breastfeeding isn't done enough, that they might just utilize the bottle and put formula in it.
And that's a wonderful point, because that was Brooklyn's issue. She couldn't get her baby. She had reverse nipple confusion to take a bottle. And we want to support, whatever decision a parent makes in terms of feeding their infant. What was interesting is 100% of the market, I don't know if it was paused long enough on that slide, regardless of their desire to breastfeed, it just wanted the novelty of being able to pick a product designed after their nipple geometry.
Yeah.
A question from Shubra, who is the invisible judge here. She asks, what is the data on colic? Reduction in colic.
Okay, so that metric, we were looking at how much colic subjectively the parent reported in terms of count data with existing competitors. And then in switching to the natural nipple, we have reduced those events for parents. I think that's because of our unique vent design that actually offers 6 valves. So it's much more like the ducts that are underneath our skin.
By how much? By how much? Reduced
by 60%.
60%, okay. Also, the other question she asks is, why not just use slow flow nipple?
That's a great question, but once your baby is 6 months old, so we've quantified that negative suction pressure. And we know, for instance, that slow flow doesn't even hit as slow as preterm infants need. So preterm infants need milk at 2.2 milliliters a minute. We've looked at every bottle on the market. It flows anywhere from 5 to 85 milliliters a minute. So you're waterboarding a preterm infant. And that being said, it can be very frustrating with your baby that needs milk slightly faster, who's much more stronger, has their oral muscles developed at 6 months, if you're trying to feed them and it's far too slow for their needs. I hope that answers your question.
Martina, do you have any questions?
Yes, you were talking about 100% satisfaction. I'm curious how many people already tested your product. And second question is about B2B versus B2C, because it seems like a product directed to consumers, but I recall you also mentioned B2B. So if you could elaborate, that would be great.
Perfect. Yeah. Our beta testing group was relatively small. It was 56 participants. And what we just decided with channel economics is it makes the most sense to launch direct to consumer initially. So we want to have the product available once we do launch B2B for families to continue getting the natural nipple through the first year of breastfeeding. And then additionally, by getting into hospitals, while our margins are much lower, that provides for primacy marketing and solving a huge problem that the NICUs are facing right now with standard bottles.
Okay, if there are no more questions, judges, are you ready to score? Okay, go ahead. Our